Okay, I am here with my new box. It's a fancy black box. Inside of this box is the Fuji X-H1. I don't know too much about Fuji stuff. These are Nessas. You got the Fuji X Pro 2. Nice camera. Good size. Fits well in my hand. It's got the hybrid EVF/optical viewfinder. And then I've got the Fuji X-T1, which I think is slightly older. I don't think this has an optical viewfinder, definitely not. It's all EVF. Now, I used to own the Fuji X100 and the 100S when those first came out, but I eventually sold them off as I just wasn't using it well enough. I liked a lot of the features, but the crop sensor thing really isn't for me. That being said, I'm always curious and interested to try the latest and greatest, so we're giving this a whirl. I think this is $1,900, so kind of an expensive camera. Let's just go through what the box includes and turn it on. Keep it pretty simple. Got your boring manuals. The camera itself, pretty straightforward. Nice. It's kind of big. The thing I'm noticing is that even though the sensor size is staying the same, the camera bodies are getting bigger and bigger. It's not at all close to a DSLR status, but it's certainly bigger than any of their other ones. I guess it's mostly the grip that's large on this one, which is going to be really helpful if you're shooting weddings. First thing you'll notice, well, first thing if you want to take a picture, dual memory card slots. So that's a win. Let's see what else we got here. Just cables, battery chargers, and a flash. Oh, we'll have to see how that functions. It's a little flash. That's cool. It's a modular hot shoe flash. Did not expect that. Camera strap. Some weird thing. I don't know what this is. We'll figure it out. That's all the good stuff. Okay, so Nessa has a couple of Fuji lenses. This one is a 35mm, which would be like a 50mm equivalent. It's a 35 1.4. So I'm going to try that with it, and this is the 23mm f1.4, so that would be like a 35mm equivalent on a full frame. So let's just start with the 35 and see. Tiny little sensor. One of the things I remember really liking about Fuji's lenses are the manual focus. You just flip this thing closer and further away, and that engages auto or manual focus, which I thought was really smart. I also like the aperture ring, of course, and having the ability to the automatic aperture mode, aperture priority, I guess, or something. Pretty easily just by flipping to it there. The flip screen is a little bit puzzling, I noticed. So the weird thing about it, of course, it'll do like this. Kind of what you would expect. But then it also does, with a separate button, this. So it sort of flips out and to the right. So you can, but it doesn't go all the way to the right, just this far. That's the extreme of it. And you can bend it up and down, but first of all, would have been nice if it could flip to the other side, if you're kind of going selfie style. That would have made a lot more sense to me. I'm really trying to figure out the benefit of that. I think most people will just use it sort of like this, right? So they can shoot from the waist. Big, huge display on top for all your actual camera settings, which is kind of nice, especially if you're shooting from the waist. And just messing around through the settings earlier, it looks like it's got pretty good autofocus tracking, edge to edge. I'm curious to see how well it works in low light. I'll have a lot of thoughts it's for an in-depth review at some point, but ergonomically, it does feel really good. It's really, really grippy. The shutter adjustment is a little far for my fingers, which is kind of annoying. These other ones, it's a little more comfortable. It's just like right there without having to move at all. I can shoot, 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 it's right there. This one, it's sort of a shoot, 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 and then really have to put my wrist up. And it's a reach, but pretty nice. The screen is very, very responsive. Tons of features. One of the things I hate right out of the gate is the multiple exposure. It appears to only save it as a JPEG. So it does give you a live view preview of a multiple exposure. So you kind of have 50% opacity overlay of your first shot while you compose your second, but the end result is always a JPEG. It doesn't seem to be any way around that, which is really frustrating. But overall, a pretty great looking camera. It does have an extra grip I did not buy that gives it a boost. And it also has something called a performance mode, performance boost mode. I'm not sure what that's all about. So I'm gonna research a bunch of this stuff and get back to you, but that is the unboxing, everything that comes in the box. So